Okay, this is my first video I've ever done since having baby P. We're trying not to give away full names for like privacy, but if you want, nickname is AMP. It's baby P's initials. So anyway, today's video, I'm going to walk you through what postpartum has really been like. The realities, my experience. As you can see, my dad's in the background. There's an empty, lovely picture frame we haven't filled yet because we're waiting for cute baby pictures. This is our changing table set up here in the bedroom. And I'm basically just going to walk you through what it's been like this first week, postpartum, being a new mom, the realities. I've tried to put a little bit of makeup on today. As you can see, my skin broke out almost immediately as soon as I popped the baby out, which was an experience that I had during pregnancy as well, with hormones being all over the place. So anyway, let's start from the top. What it was like day one, having had my baby unmedicated, naturally, home birth in a water. I'm going to do a whole separate video on just that, because that needs a video in itself, like our actual home birth story. Maybe I've already posted it, so I'll put it in the description below if that's the case. Basically, no one told me that postpartum you would keep on bleeding. Things would keep on coming out of your body. Obviously there was a lot going on. There's a lot of hormones. It's a lot of changes. I feel like pregnancy was a slow, gradual change, right? Like my bump didn't come in till 18 weeks-ish, and it was slower. Even my boob growth, like I went up probably 2 cup sizes, maybe 1.5, but it seemed more gradual. Postpartum, you've popped this baby out, boom. Your stomach is suddenly empty. It's suddenly, instead of being hard and full of a child, it is soft and jelly-like and weirdly empty and alone feeling. Second effect, pregnancy hormones, emotions. You've also just had a baby, so you're already highly emotional. So that's another thing to contend with, just crying randomly at anything. Like seeing Philip holding the baby, crying. Just anyone maybe pissing me off, crying. Am I on number 3 yet? I don't know. Lack of sleep. So everyone warns you before, get the sleep now. And of course you take everything with a pinch of salt and you're like, yeah, we're getting enough sleep, we're trying to save it up before the baby comes. No, you won't sleep at all, really, that first week. It's almost impossible, because especially as a mom who is breastfeeding exclusively, your baby is going to want to feed at least every 2 hours. My baby seems to want to feed consistently. Also, my parents guaranteed me that I was the type of baby that never ever cried. So my expectation was, maybe my baby will cry a bit. You hear that some babies are like more cryy than others, and I don't want to use like good baby, bad baby. That's just awful, and no baby should be called bad just because they cry a lot. But our child likes to cry aloud, and it's very it makes you feel disappointed in yourself, like, oh my goodness, do I not know what I'm doing? Am I doing something wrong? And then it makes you wonder, like, what's wrong? So you're kind of panicking, but trying not to put out that energy. Obviously you've got everyone else going, well, especially because Amp likes to cry like in the night, not in the day. And obviously we're self-quarantining with my parents, so they haven't heard the screams at night continually for like hours. So they're like, oh, such a beautiful, calm, peaceful baby throughout the day. And for sure that's what it appears like. But in the night, and actually we were thinking of nicknaming our baby 4 a.m. because at 4 a.m. it's a turn up. And like, it's so hard to soothe. Like, basically just have to stick my boob in and try and breastfeed for as long as possible till hopefully the baby kind of passes out from exhaustion and from like the milk drunkenness. So yeah, the sleep is really tricky. So imagine, especially, obviously, you know, my partner, he's been getting up and helping so much, but as the mom, you are the one that feeds the baby. You're breastfeeding. That's exhausting. It's taking out so many nutrients. My midwife was like, you're going to have to eat at least 4,000 calories a day, which is a hell of a lot of food. And when you don't have time because A, you're tired, B, you've just gone through this whole experience, like the last thing you're thinking about is eating huge meals. So prepare and make sure that your fridge is stocked full of foods that you like, healthy foods too, but foods that have dense nutrients. So lots of fruits and veggies, lots of like sweet potato, we're eating salmon, chicken, protein shakes, protein pancakes, all these types of things. Sorry if I'm wobbling my phone, my arm is now hurting a little bit, just to try and get enough calories and nutrients in me so I can continually feed the baby. I'm also taking postnatal tablets, omega tablets, lactation support tablets. So I'm trying to do the most to make sure that I'm as healthy as possible and that my milk is nice and nutritious. So right, where are we at to now? Next thing is I'm gonna actually take you to show you what's going on. So as I mentioned, you're gonna bleed a lot, and I've seen obviously the postpartum like adult nappy diaper situations. I only had 4, so I thought, I don't know, I didn't even really think that hard about it. I was just like, oh well, I'll get like 4, and maybe you wear 2 a day and maybe the bleeding will have stopped after 2 days. Naive. I was wrong. It's nearly, you know, it's over a week now and I'm still wearing these adult diaper nappy things. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what they look like. I'm still wearing those. And again, this is nasty, and I nearly threw this out because I didn't want to show it on a video, but I'm like, no, this is the reality. I'm getting through so many of them a day, at least 4, but I feel like the first couple of days, like up to 10 a day, because also I don't want to be sat in blood and nastiness, because there's still bits of placenta coming out, like little chunks of, and yet TMI maybe, but I just want to let you all know, because I did not feel prepared and was pretty shocked by all of this, that this bin is full of my adult dirty nappy things. And what I do is I put them in this basin, and at the end of each day I go straight to my bin in my garage and put them all in like another bag and just put them all in there at once, because I don't want to go to the toilet in there, take off my one dirty nappy diaper thing, walk all the way around the house to put it in the outside bin like during the day. I don't really have time for that either, because honestly it feels like every time you go to pee and every time you try and sit down to eat, that's when the baby starts crying, that's when you have to do another feed. So even just getting time to pee and poop and shower is a luxury. Like, definitely it took me at least probably 4 days to wash my hair, which I remember my friend Jacqueline saying that. She was like, you won't wash your hair for at least a week, just get used to being dirty. But it's true. So the other thing that you're going to need postpartum, so I'm lucky because I didn't even tear, and I'm going to make another video of why I think I didn't tear, because I took extra steps and precautions. I actually trained, so I used this special tool that I found online which stretched my cervix and my vagina, getting ready for the birth, because I knew that I was having an unmedicated natural birth and I did not want to feel myself tearing without any drugs. So I prepared for that, and I also used some oils. I was taking evening primrose oil and I was inserting evening primrose oil and doing massages. So I'll do a whole nother video about that, because if I can try and help anyone else not tear, that must be a godsend, because I didn't, and it meant that my recovery has been so much easier. Like, it was only the first day postpartum where it kind of was a bit sore to sit down. Even day 2, I was walking normally and I wasn't sore. I didn't have to have any stitches, which is just such a relief. But one thing that will, everyone's vagina, if you have a vaginal birth, is going to sting a little bit when you pee, even if you don't tear, because it's just like raw and stretched down there. So you're going to need one of these peri bottles. Yes, my nails have not been done for weeks. Thanks, quarantine. But you're going to need one of these peri bottles. Again, because I didn't tear, I literally only use warm water, but you can add different solutions in that help cleanse and help calm down any stinging if you do tear. That's super useful. And then also, every time I pee and then change my adult nappy diaper situation, I use these Tux medicated cooling pads. They've got witch hazel in, and they're actually like hemorrhoidal pads, but these are so cooling, so calming, and they're super convenient because some of the other pads I think you have to put in the fridge or the freezer, and that's too much hassle. You don't have time for that. I literally have my little pee station of like my nappies, my bin, my pads, and my water, and that's just how I roll. At the beginning, I also had kitchen roll because there was so much blood that sometimes I was actually just dabbing down there with kitchen roll instead of wiping. Is too painful and messy, so a little bit of dab of kitchen roll, squirting of the water, then using one of these, and then putting my adult diaper back on. That for me was like the best routine. And then obviously showering at night and all that good stuff. And a couple of other products that have helped me get through this postpartum are my body brush to help my circulation. I haven't been working out, and I think I'm gonna start working out when I'm 2 weeks postpartum. So my body feels very, very soft. And there's something maybe with the hormones where my skin and my tissue and just the texture of my body feels a lot less firm and just a lot more squidgy and soft. And so I've been helping my circulation with some dry brushing, then obviously using my bio oil on top, because I did get stretch marks over my bum and my thighs. I need to take a better picture of that as well, because it's weird. I think I was so focused on my belly and putting my bio oil on my belly, I didn't think to put it on my hips and my thighs, which again, I'm telling you all now, so prepare. And if you just found out you're pregnant, put the oil not just on your tummy, but like your hips and your thighs too. Hopefully that might just help nourish your skin. And that's the thing, like scratching your skin and it being dry when it stretches, that means you're going to get this more stretch marks. So keeping it nourished and not itching it and scratching it is super important. The next thing is, because I feel like I wake up a lot of the time and I'm exhausted and I don't have time to even put on moisturizer. And again, it sounds ridiculous because that stuff takes minutes, but it feels like, oh my goodness, the baby's crying, or you need feeding, or there's just a lot to do. I need to eat. So the last thing that I've been able to do is really do a whole skincare routine. So I've been relying on like a rose water spray. This helps me wake up, and then it is moisturizing. So a lot of the times I spray this on my face, pee, and then I just get ready and try and go about my day. So yeah, that's my quick routine. I was feeling very, very pale, which makes me feel a little bit like sick sometimes because I haven't been out the house much at all because of quarantine and because of, you know, just having a baby. So I like to have a little bit of a glow, a little bit of color. So I found this self-tanning butter because again, I don't have time now. I did during my pregnancy, like actual fake tan that you use the mitt with and you can wash off after a few hours, but no time for that. So if I do have time to moisturize, I've been moisturizing in the morning with like a tanning lotion, and this one's really good. I've been using it now for like 4 or 5 days and it doesn't smell, and it's been giving me a nice color. Like I'm not orange, but I just have like a light glow. The other things, okay, a few more bits that I want to show you. Little silverette nipple covers. I mentioned them in a video that I got gifted. These have really, really helped when my nipples have been stinging and are sore from all the breastfeeding. just putting those on. You don't need anything else. Good to go. These are, I can't remember the name of the brand. I'll have to put them in the description, but these are pads and your boobs will leak. My boobs didn't leak during my pregnancy at all, but my milk came in day 2 postpartum. And again, I was really worried because the day of the birth, I hadn't had any leaky nipples. I was worried my milk hadn't come through, and it was really crazy because my midwife actually squeezed my boob and some of the colostrum came out. And she was like, see, it's fine. You can feed your baby, you have that. So that was good. But day 2, it was like you wake up, and this is what I'm saying about pregnancy feeling like this slow journey of your body changing. Postpartum, it's like, boom, baby comes out, stomach's empty, you feel soft and squidgy. Boom, this milk comes in the next day and your boobs are double the size. Boom, hormones, all these new different things. You're bleeding consistently. There's a lot going on. Plus on top of that, you're not sleeping because you're feeding the baby and might be crying, da 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 da. So it is way harder than pregnancy, in my opinion. So these are, they're going to absorb all of that excess milk. I also have these milk catchers, but they catch the milk as well, and then you can put them in little bottles. I've got some squidgy bottles that go in the freezer, so I'm collecting my excess milk so it's not being wasted. Those are really, really good, and you can get them off Amazon for literally $10. So highly recommend getting some of those and putting them in. When I have gone out for pediatrician appointments and things like that, I don't want to wear these big adult diapers, so make sure that you have some pads, just like your normal period pads. I am someone who always used tampons but can't use those postpartum, and you probably don't want to use anything like that for at least 6 to 8 weeks. So definitely you're going to need lots of pads ready to go. And another thing that I've stumbled across in Target when I was going after postpartum and baby bits is like this stomach wrap. And the interesting thing was, so you put that like around your midriff, and it's apparently got charcoal in it to help. I don't know about that. But one thing for me it really helped was that my stomach muscles, because I haven't used them for so many months, are super weak. So when I was laying in bed and during the night I was having to get up, sounds ridiculous, but it was like a whole thing to get up. And then even my back during breastfeeding, if you're sat up for 30 minutes and you're not on a chair, maybe you're just on the bed and it's the middle of the night, your back's gonna ache. So actually, now and again, I've been trying to wear this more because it's actually been supporting my lower back and my core. And I'm gonna start, like I said, working out 2 weeks postpartum, and hopefully that will strengthen up my core again. But in the meantime, I gotta recommend this. It's called like a tummy compression, but I got it from Target. It's nothing excessive, but it was supportive, and I found it's really beneficial. I really want to show you how I get back into fitness and exercise, because I've got to do it carefully and slowly. Like I said, I feel like even after a week postpartum, there's still some bleeding. It's almost like have like my light period days. And so I'm still wearing those adult diapers when I'm at home and just being careful. But my baby bump's basically gone, which is wild to me. Like how quickly your body changes and adapts. I'm very much in awe of it. And, you know, just the milk coming through, that's another thing. I'm like rambling on this video, but I'm just trying to tell you everything. My boobs got rock solid day 3. So the milk came in like day 2. By day 3, it was like my boobs solidified, and it was very, very painful. So I was recommending, and then I felt little lumps, which obviously was really scary, but they are just milk ducts that have gotten a bit blocked. So what you have to do is like roll and rub your boobs, and make sure. One thing that really helped me was more regular feeding and making sure I kept switching between each boob. And I felt like I got to the point where I didn't even have to think or write down, okay, we fed on the left boob 2 hours ago, now I need to switch to the right. I could feel from the pain which boob was like firmer and harder. It was like, okay, this one obviously wasn't the last one I fed with, let's switch. So keep switching, and don't worry if breastfeeding's hard. It is really hard. Like, it doesn't just happen. You have to get the angle right, and you have to figure out what's comfortable for you and your baby, and they might not latch on immediately, and the baby's getting frustrated. Like, little Amp is literally like and then a lot of the times I have to like lift the baby up and like reset the position and try and go again, and like that can take quite a while. I have a friend and it will take 45 minutes just for the baby to latch before you even do the feed. So seriously gonna need some patience, and if you can get support, I have my parents here, which has just been phenomenal. It's been very tempting some nights to like give them the baby when the baby's screaming, but me and Philip don't want to do that because obviously this is not normal. We're quarantining, and this isn't going to be reality forever. So we're like, right, we have to figure out how we do this ourselves. But in the day, we find it very, very useful to be able to get things done, to have Grams and Granddude look after the baby. But even then, we've been trying to use like these little chairs we've bought that swing, and trying those, because again, post quarantine, when it's just me and P and we have to eat or we have to get some work done, we have to find ways to make sure that the baby is safe and soothed, and preoccupied in something so we can get things done. So I feel like that was quite a good update, and I hope you enjoyed all of my tips. And yeah, it's the most amazing, magical, beautiful experience in the world, but it will probably also be the hardest and the most testing on you, on your mental health, on your body, and on your relationship as well. I've never felt close to Philip. He has exceeded all my expectations of how he would react, and being a father and really stepping up to the plate and doing nighttime walk-arounds. It's funny, we've called him the night walker because I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and for some reason the baby at 4 a.m. wants to just be walked. So like Philip's just taken over and just been like, I can do that, I know you've been feeding, da da da. So that's been really, really like such a relief, because it's really tricky and there is no 1, 2, 3 steps, or there's no guarantees of what your baby's gonna like. For example, here's another thing I'll show you quickly as well. We were co-sleeping and still are doing some co-sleeping. However, we found this amazing bassinet called the soooo. It's here right next to our bed, and this is actually a swaddle, but it's a swaddle that's attached to the soooo. So that means that the baby can't roll or turn over, so that it's actually the safest bassinet in the world. Apparently there's statistics or whatever, because they can't move, they can't roll over, they can't suffocate, and they're on their backs, and they're like strapped in. It also has white noise, and it has this amazing feature which I love, which basically it soothes the baby up until the point where the soooo knows that the baby needs changing or feeding, or it needs its parents. It's not going to keep going. It alerts you and it shuts down and switches off and tells you, go get your baby, they're crying, they're unsettled, etc. Which I think is really, really good, because if it didn't, I wouldn't want to say some parents might just leave their kids in there, but who knows. So it's really good that it switches off, but it's very, very good at soothing. So we were co-sleeping for the first couple of days, and it was really, really hard. And every time we moved, or it just wasn't working the way we thought it was going to. We started using the soooo, and we used the soooo basically nearly all the way through the night, and we just get the baby out, change, feed, back in the soooo, and then when it gets to about, I want to say maybe 6 a.m, then we'll bring the baby into bed then. And for some reason that's been working for us, and we really like the morning cuddles. So you got to find what works. We've got a humidifier in our room. I've got this other little light here. This is called Hatch. Oh, there it is. It's on now. You literally just touch it and it's got different noise effects like water, rain, thunderstorms, lullabies, and it has different colors. So you can pick the color you want and the favorites, and it switches on like I just showed you so easily with like the touch. So in the middle of the night, if you just need to quickly put the light on, that's again a really great little tool. We've got this little penguin that lights up and plays lullabies, which is nice as well. And yeah, I think that's all the updates for now about this kind of first week postpartum and how we've been coping. But I do want to share more and more with you. I just feel like it's a lot. So I just wanted to get this video done so that I could just try and share everything that has gone on before I forget. And I hope that it's useful. I want to keep it real with you. Obviously it's, like I said, the most special, wonderful time of our lives, but there are definitely some challenges. It definitely, we were like, wow, it's changed our lives in so many ways, in the most amazing, magical way, but also you have to be realistic. It's going to impact your life in a huge way. This baby comes way before you. You are the lowest priority now. So making sure that you are mentally ready for that and how to cope with that, making sure you can talk to your partner and communicate. We keep checking in with each other. He's constantly asking how are you, and also allowing me to go off and just nap at random times during the day if I need to, or just sitting there and just having some peace and quiet, not being demanding on myself, not letting work pressures or getting back to people stress me out. I am someone who loves having a ton of supportive friends, but I also get very overwhelmed when I get a ton of text messages, or I feel like, I've got so many people to FaceTime and show the baby to and and just have to let all of that just go, because the biggest priority is just making sure that the baby's good and that our mental health and physical health is good as well. So I hope you enjoyed this very long rambling video. Definitely gonna try and cut it down a bit, but I'm sending you all so much love. If you're struggling to conceive, or if you've experienced pregnancy loss, my prayers and my love, it goes out to you. You're stronger than you know. You're incredible. You are worthy. You are enough. You are loved. And I'm sending you a big virtual hug. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please comment below anything else you want me to share or talk about. I'm definitely doing a video about the home birth experience, and I will show more of the transformation of my postpartum body on this journey, and how I'm looking after myself, because that is intriguing me and I'm going through it, so hopefully it'll be interesting for you all too. Sending you lots of love. Mwah! Bye.